Well, hello and welcome back,
Hello.
everybody. It is another Tuesday, which means it is time for the Team SC1 Factory Call, where we help you understand how to build your business in really simple ways. And we're super excited about this series that we have going on because it takes us back to the blueprint. And I found my original blueprint. I mean, this thing is tattered for how much I used it. So super excited about this series. But the Zoom information is the same every single week. We love it when you join us live, and we appreciate it when you also catch the recordings and share those out. So the Zoom ID information is exactly the same every single week, and you can find the recordings on the Team Freedom Reigns YouTube channel. QR code on this slide will take you directly to that YouTube channel. Now, guys, every single Monday, you do receive a Monday Momentum email from corporate that gives you all of the updates for the week, the important things that are going on in LifeVantage so that you can make sure that you are on top of everything you're plugging in and you know what you're shooting for. So make sure that you check for that every single week. We're going to run through a couple of quick things. The bonus volume incentive here, it says extended through June. Well, guess what? They gave us through the end of July to be able to utilize the bonus volume incentive. And along with that, they have announced another incentive to where when you enroll 2,000 in new sales volume, new customers, new consultants into your business in the month of July, you will now earn $1,000 that will be handed over to you at Global Convention on stage. So if you've been looking for that stage moment, this is the way you can do it and be receiving $1,000 cash from the company for building your business, doing the things we should be doing anyway. They're throwing more cash at you. And these are the enrollment packs with the extra volume. So you've got the Healthy Glow enrollment, Healthy Edge enrollment pack, and the business enrollment pack. Anybody you bring in as a new business partner in the month of July, you will be getting extra volume points for those packs. And so it adds up really fast to be able to get to that 2,000 in sales volume mark. Guys, opportunity presentations is where you build your business, plugging into them, as well as making sure that you have guests that show up to be able to share the information with. Every single Thursday night, Dondee and I are hosting, generally presenting the Own Your Tomorrow opportunity presentation. It's on Thursday nights at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Same Zoom ID information. Passcode has changed, making it a little bit more simple. It is just LV now instead of 5 random numbers. So same Zoom ID, same passcode now moving forward, and Own Your Tomorrow on Thursday nights at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then this Saturday, guys, do not miss this. You still have the opportunity to be able to register as a watch party host through the website. Or if you're anywhere in Arizona, you can join us. There are watch parties happening all around the country. Make sure that you are plugging into the one that is near to you and doing it with other consultants. It's much more fun when we do it together. We're doing it here in Arizona. So if you're anywhere nearby, we're excited to have Joe going with, are going to be here. He's on live with us right now, and he'll be joining us on Saturday. But make sure that you do not miss out on this Activate virtual event that corporate is putting on for us this coming Saturday. And Global Convention is coming up in October. So the price for registration is now $249. They had extended the $179 through the 6th, but now it is past that time. So registration is $249, which the only thing waiting does
Cost you more money.
and you don't want to be spending more money than we have to. We want to be making money, right? But you do not want to miss this event. They've got all kinds of amazing things planned for us. And you never know what you will miss if you're not there. And it cannot be transferred over to you. The emotion and the energy, all of that that happens at these events that really becomes the belief builders can't be transferred to you if you're not there. You need to be in the room. And this is one of the most important decisions you could make for your business in the year 2026. Get to Global Convention. It is in Salt Lake City. It's October 21st through 24th. And this will be the last time that it's in Salt Lake for several years. And so it will be your last time to be able to do the tour of the corporate office and be able to meet the corporate team in such an intimate way. All right, guys, hopping into this week's call. We are back to the Proven Plan series. This is week 2. We're going to be talking about building your dream database. This is all about who you're going to invite, expose, and follow up with, because it's got to start with this list to be able to really move into building your business. So a dream written down with the data with a date becomes a goal broken down into steps becomes a plan backed by action becomes, or makes your dreams come true. I kind of slaughtered that. Sorry about that. But that's Greg S. Reed. But Dr. Dondee, you want to take over here and we'll work on talking about the database.
Yes, absolutely. Before we do, though, I want to, I still got this thought in my mind that I want to, you can go to the first slide,
okay.
That I want to share. And that was when you were just talking about the global convention price, how it went from 179, now it's up to 249. One of the things, again, about delaying time or not making a decision, what it does is cost you more money. But it could cost you a lot more than that, because if you guys remember, and it was just a couple weeks ago, that we concluded our 11-week training on what? How to become part of the 1%. One thing, one character trait that all of those 1% people have in common is they make quick decisions and they change those decisions very infrequently. So that when we're finding that we're having to convince over and over, remind people over and over, you got to do this. They're probably not part of the 1%, because the 1% of people don't behave like that. And this is not a dig. It's just the most important character trait of a 1%er in anything is they make quick decisions and they deviate from those decisions very irregularly. So in order to now carry that philosophy into this week's training, which is week 2 of 12, on the whole thing about getting back to the proven plan, building your dream database. Now, here's the thing, put some thought into this, because there are going to be people that as you're starting to think about their name and whether you put them on your database, you may exclude them. Please don't exclude anybody, because you don't know what someone's going through. You don't know what is their ultimate 12 o'clock or their true north to make a decision. You don't know what's going on in people's lives, especially in this kind of a world. So include everybody and let them omit or exempt themselves. Don't do it for them, because it could be one of the greatest mistakes you ever make, especially if they found out you knew about it and didn't share it with them. That's going to be a very awkward conversation. So please don't do that. But here's the reality of this. Your network is literally your net worth. And so when you're creating your database, think about a person, and then think about groups of people, maybe friends who know each other and friends who already have a relationship, especially if it's a business type relationship, because there may be a certain, I want to say pecking order, but I know there's a better word for that. So when you have a team of people that work together, or their influence over each other, there's going to be some people that are just naturally your 1%ers. Put those people on your chicken list or whatever, but put them at the top of the list and focus there first, because the greatest level of influence is usually the people that make the best decisions, and those people typically have influence over others, which means they're already part of a network. Maybe you can put one name and get an entire network of people. Kind of think about that. That's how the 1% of people think. So as we're going through this, go ahead and go to the next slide. So build your dream database. So your database is your business. However extensive, however many names are on your prospect list, that's the size of your potential business. Don't skimp. Think of everybody. If you know that there's a name, include the name and don't omit anybody. Let them omit themselves should they choose to do that. But your database is literally your business, and every successful business begins with a list. Everyone. Where are our products? Who can we help with our products? Who needs a business opportunity like this? Who have I not talked to in a while that may need both or none? You don't know until you reach out. And your database is your future customer base. Because one of the things about this business, it's not for everyone. We should know that going in. So the people you think, oh my gosh, they're going to just crush this thing, they may be saying, you know what, no thanks, but those products sound amazing. I want to be your next customer. So a person who may not be a consultant for you will likely be a customer, because if they value their health and they want to improve upon it. So think of it that way. And then relationships will create your opportunities, and then your opportunities will create the size of your business. So opportunities are always out there. Just make sure you're utilizing them and capitalizing them, and then build your list before you need it. So what do they say? Dig the well before you're thirsty. Make your list as all-inclusive as possible and don't omit anybody.
Love that. All right. So before we move any further into this call, I want to ask, did you download the
Digital copy.
Digital copy of the blueprint, because it's in the team boards. And in today's recording, when I upload it to YouTube, I will go ahead and put the link there as well so that you can get it from that location if you're not part of our team and not on our boards. Because we want to make sure that everybody has access to it, because all of this information is inside of this amazing blueprint that we've been using since we got started, since 2009, 2011 for me. And it is the key, guys, and it breaks it all down so simply. And everything that we're talking about here, like here's my original list, right? How crazy, right? My original list right there. And there's some people here that I could probably go back to because they did not say yes to me back then, and everything has changed. And so that's something for you to be thinking about too, is that as we encourage you to start building your list, think about the people you've already talked to, because I'll bet that at least something major has happened that has changed in their lives, that they may be more open now.
One thing I think we can learn from the sales industry, and though we don't think about this, is we're not trying to sell anybody, we're trying to educate them and let them buy. One of the things about the sales industry is the people that are the most successful in sales, they guard their prospect list with their life, because it's a relationship business, literally. Everything we do in this life, if we're dealing with people, is a relationship business. And the greater and deeper and more trustworthy that relationship is, the better likelihood at some point they will join you, either as a customer or consultant or both, or refer you to people who are going to be a good fit. So this is a relationship business. Please treat it that way.
Yeah. And as you're building your database, keep in mind that your business with LifeVantage, as you build it, is an asset. Yet this database is going to be one of the greatest assets that you will carry with you throughout your life. So make sure that you are really treating it with the value that it carries.
And think relationships, not prospects. As I just said, this is a relationship business, but capitalize on it. And this is something I'm going to share with you guys, something, and I haven't even told Marci about this, but we've mentioned this person. So a person that I went to high school with, her name is Dana. And since I would say in the last 5 years, she's probably been with 3 different companies, and she's a pretty influential person. She's really super excited. The only thing that I see from her is consistent action. And when I usually hear about, because we don't keep up, I don't keep up with her as much as I should. And when I see her, it's when she's excited and she just joined a new company. It's like, dang it, she hasn't joined ours yet. But I've learned the lesson now for the 4th time, that I got to keep in better contact with her, because who knows, at some point, and she's never, I mean, I've shared information with her, but the companies that she's choosing are Me Too companies. They have nothing unique. And so I'm going to keep pressing and building this relationship that we haven't built since the early 80s when we were in high school together. So your relationships, or your team or your prospect list, is your relationship potential. So stop looking for targets. We're not hunting, we're farming. Start looking for people you can serve. And when you look at the word service and the word reward, the only place that reward comes before service is in the dictionary. So in life, we've got to serve people before we reap the reward of that service. And we have to do it with intention, pure intention, not to get anything out of them, but to serve them, whether they join us or not. Because that is when you give just for the sake of giving, you will be blessed in return. And it may not be from that person, but the law of the universe is give and ye shall receive. So let's focus on serving.
Yeah. Amen.
And every conversation builds trust, especially when you're leaning into them, finding out about them. And Marci and I, actually, Marci got a chance to witness the other day when I had a conversation
you could bring this up
with a person that I've known since chiropractic college. So we met in 1995 when we were in chiropractic college together. He's been a pretty successful chiropractor, has done other network marketing companies, and I reached out to rekindle the relationship. We haven't talked in probably 4 years. And so when I called him, I put it on speaker. Sorry. So Marci could hear it. And
P84 to the rescue.
And what he did was give a perfect demonstration of the ratio between 2 ears and 1 mouth. And before he ever asked me a single question, excuse me, about how have you been over the last 4 years? What's going on in your life? How are the kids? How are the grandkids? How's business? He immediately went into A slanderous and judgmental display of about 45 minutes of giving his opinions without even wondering why I was reaching out to him and using offensive language. I mean, like F-bombs. And I'm glad she heard it because it was like what he did is immediately exempt himself from my list because I love the guy. I pray with him. We've known each other for a long time, but he demonstrated he's not somebody I want on my team because if somebody is so willing to share their opinions to somebody who they haven't talked to in 4 years, they're willing to share those opinions with anybody. And 95% of it was negative. And negative Nellies, or in this case, negative Steves, I don't want in our business.
Well, and you also have to protect the people that are already part of your business and the
Yeah.
people that will be coming into your business. And that's why we don't say yes to everyone, right? And that's the beauty of this business is that we do get to choose who we work with. We want to offer products to everyone because they deserve to have that longevity. Yet we don't have to work with all of those people.
Right.
And this was a perfect example of, oh, we're not going to throw this out there the way that we were anticipating potentially doing.
But I told him, we'll pray for, and I wasn't giving what he was giving back. I was just going along with the conversation, listening, sharing my feedback, telling him, positive things and praying for him. And who knows? I mean, I'm gonna give him information and maybe he'll turn around. I don't know, but it was interesting to see that kind of thing. And we run into people that are very judgmental and willing to share their opinions? Yes, we do. And it's kind of those people that are so willing to share their opinions are also willing to spoil the environment that they just walked into. Because I felt the temperature in the room drop, and we're in Arizona and it's summertime. And it was just like, whoa, kind of cringy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah. So don't be the cringy type. Don't be that person. You want to be the person that is listening, that's asking questions, and is really developing an understanding of what the people around you are going through. And as you're developing that understanding, that's when you absolutely know if we have a solution to a problem that they're currently experiencing. And that's the number one thing that we have the opportunity to do is to help people solve their problems.
Right. Yes, great job. So your dream database formula, and this is just, I tried to get a chat GPT who was not cooperating with me this morning, creating images on building a database or file system of the people. So your friends, your family, your coworkers, your healthcare professionals that small business owners, create files in your database where you can go there and research them and have, categorize, I guess is the word I'm looking for, your database, because then it's going to be easier to track, easier to monitor. And when you have conversations, whether you're using a CRM or you're using, where is that right there? This incredible tool where you're writing down who you talked to, what the date was, what was the conversation, did it require a follow-up, and you keep it all. What is that? It's
an activity log.
Yeah, just incredible. Log it and then date it and time it so you can go back and research it. Then you can write notes ahead, check a follow up on the 18th of July. And then on the 18th of July, you have that person's name in there, our calendar. So the dream database formula is one that you create, one that you manage, one that you follow, and one that you keep a firm grasp on and that you're regularly communicating with and pouring into and getting information from and having a mutual exchange. Because one of the things that I remember Eric Worre talking about this, and I forget the guy's name, but he said he met a guy who told him every single person you meet, get their contact information and find a way to stay in touch. And this guy had a list of 125,000 people that he regularly interacted with. And I don't know the name of the gentleman, and forgive me for this, but there is a gentleman in Marci's life and Caitlin and Zach, Marci's biological children, that this man reaches out every single birthday and says, happy birthday, with a personalized phone call, whether she answers or not. And I'm like, I've known Marci and I've known each other for 14 or 15 years. And this guy, every single birthday, leaves a message. And she hasn't talked to him other than those birthday messages for the last 14 or 15 years. That's consistency. And I'm thinking, that's the kind of behavior that the guy was talking about. And I can't think of Charles McKay, something McKay. that Eric Worre talked about. Every time you meet somebody, get their contact information and find a way to stay in touch, even if it's just finding out their birthday, what some of their hobbies are and likes, and complimenting them or sending them a happy birthday every birthday. That guy impresses the heck out of me. And I bet you, whatever he does, he's got a great business.
Yeah. Well, he's an accountant.
Yeah.
So he's also very organized. So he does a great job with that. And guys, one of the things that I really want to point out to you is that as you're developing this database, as we said, it is an asset to you, right? And so you don't ever really mark someone fully off, right? Because think about this. I mean, as I mentioned already, you know, that high noon position. High noon is when somebody is absolutely ready to take a look at what you have to offer, right? Way too many people knock people off of their list when somebody's at a 3 o'clock. They're just not ready, or it's not the right time for them, right? And if you knock them off their list when they are at high noon, you won't be reaching out to them. They won't even be on your radar. And so that's one of the things that we have to keep in mind, is that we should not prejudge. We should never put a time limit on somebody's name being on our database or being in a relationship with us. Now, there are circumstances where, like, you know, somebody may just be way out of line, very offensive, and just disrespectful, and just opposite sides of the spectrum from who you are and who you want to surround yourself with. And so you don't necessarily have to have interaction with those people. I personally believe in protecting your peace.
Yeah.
And so there are times that you may select to remove someone because of that type of behavior. Yet, if it's someone that just tells you, hey, no, this isn't for me, that doesn't mean you take them off your database. It just means, no, not right now. I'm not at high noon.
Yeah. And if somebody, to Marci's point, says, you know, I'm not interested, please take me off the database, I would say, I totally appreciate that and I respect that. Is there anybody that you know that this may be of interest? So ask for a referral. And if somebody says, hey, you know, I'm not interested, you know, please take me off your database. And I completely honor that. I respect that. And I know the world is an unfamiliar place sometimes. It's kind of unpredictable and things may change. Would it be okay with you if I followed up with you in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months to see if you're still at this place? And if they say, no, it's okay, don't follow up with me, then I would say, take them off your database. But most people, when you preface it, thank you, I honor you, I respect you, and I know the world is a pretty unpredictable place. Would it be okay if I followed up in 3 months, 6 months, a year, just to see if everything is okay and if you're still in this position? Because I would love to be able to help if things change for you. Because what that's going to show that person is, wow, this person really does care about me. And why would they say, when you preface it that way, why would they say, no, I'm good? Unless they're really good and they've got no worries. But even still, I have not personally experienced when someone says no to that. If you handle it the right, when I've done it incorrectly, they say, no, don't call me again. If you do, I'll call the cops. And that's early on when I was learning how to do things right and how to develop the trust in that relationship. But when you make it about someone else and you ask the question, hey, I understand how unpredictable this world can be. If you don't, would it be okay if I followed up with you in 3 to 6 months and see if you're still doing okay? And if not, maybe it'd be a time to look at it then. Most people will say, yeah. So just be that person.
Yeah. So some of us are not very organized. And yet this is something that I would challenge each one of you to try to have an organized database.
Yeah.
Because first of all, when we overthink things, we eliminate people, right? And we shouldn't prejudge anyone. And yet, if we aren't organized, we forget people. And those are a lot of the times the people that are the ones that are supposed to be at the top of our list. And so find the way that works best for you, whether it's something like what we use with our list, right? Our tracker, or you use a computer program, whatever it is that works for you. Use it consistently and be persistent.
Yeah. And I will tell you, I'm unorganized, or I would say disorganized. And the thing that catches me most of the time is lacking follow-up. And so thank you, Marci, for pointing that out. And that's why I love this tracker. But like anything else, whatever you're using, you have to follow up. And the fortune is in the follow-up. There's so many missed opportunities where you share some information, you got some engagement, life takes over, and you look back a year later and it's like, oh my gosh, we left an open end there. And you go back and catch up with that person. That's my downfall, is the follow-up.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. And so the memory exercise, the memory jogger, however you want to look at it, create your list. Who has ever encouraged me? Who was a good mentor to me? Especially someone like maybe a former boss or an authority figure or a coach or a parent or a grandparent or a neighbor, someone who gave you some sage advice. Write that person's name down, and it's a great way to return the blessing. Or who needs better health? That list is growing every single day. The more people are looking at gimmick stuff and falling for it. Who owns a business that could use a little bit more leverage? Or who owns a business that owns them?
Mm.
And they don't have any free time. They don't have any vacation time. They've never taken a vacation in 10 years because they're running their business. That person is looking for just a breath of fresh air, even if it's a 3-day weekend. Leverage can provide that for them, especially when they win an incentive trip and it's the whole trip is on the company. That kind of a thing blesses people so significantly. Or who loves helping people? Who's just a naturally servant type person? You know who they are. There's probably many of them in your life. Give them this as another arrow in their quiver to serve other people once they understand the true value of it. Or who is an influential person? Whether they be in a team of a corporate environment or a team coach or in politics in your local city government, whatever they or somebody you know that has an authoritative position, who is influential over other people in a positive way that could take those skill sets, take that position and just sidestep it into another opportunity to do the same thing and be as influential, maybe even more so. Or who recently experienced a life change, good or bad, who got a recent promotion. And people love the promotions and they love the new title and they love maybe the 5 or 10% raise they got, if that. But what else do they probably not love? The extra responsibility and time constraints and more level of indentured servitude for the company you're working for. Because a lot of times promotion means we now own more of your time, you have more on the line, and we're going to expect more from you. Now, that's again a generalization, but it happens quite frankly all the time. Who's been in that situation that will love a little break, or who's had a life experience where they had a bad health diagnosis? We've got some people we're thinking about right now that we're praying for. So people that have good or just an experience of life change, whether it's good or bad, are oftentimes looking for something new and a fresh start in something.
You know, I actually want to bring up a group of people. How about new moms? New moms that just had babies and they're looking at having to go back to work and leave that new baby in somebody else's hands. I mean, they are such a group of women that are building something new with this new baby, right? This new family, and they are torn. They're torn between having to go back to work to help make money for the family and staying home with this beautiful gift that they just received, right? And so, I mean, think about all of the different experiences that are life changing in someone's life and potentially see if there's something that we can do to help them. I mean, heck, if that mom could make an extra $500 a month, that just might be exactly what she needs to be able to help put food on the table or gas in the car so that she can stay home with that baby. Because I got to tell you, childcare is really, really expensive. And it's not even in the monetary part that is the most expensive. The most expensive is somebody else's values being placed on your child, where you should be the one that's influencing your baby that way.
Amen to that. Good point.
Just right there, be thinking about that. And then, of course, memory jogger in the blueprints. So guys, this is so helpful. It has all kinds of different categories, and then it lists out individual positions of people to be able to help you think of more people in your life that you need to be adding to your working database.
Yes. Kind of consider your database and constantly adding to it as, go ahead, next slide, as a personal challenge. And the bigger your team, because here's the thing, if you have a database of 5 people, and you call all 5 and they say no, you're out of business.
Eek.
But if you have a database of 50 people and all the first 5 say no, you still have 90% left to call. But what if you have a database of 500 or 5,000? You'll never wear,
and you're constantly adding to it.
You're constant, because let's face it, the world is getting bigger population-wise every single day because people continue to procreate. And that means your business continues to potentially expand. So build your list before you need it. And the bigger, the better, because the bigger the potential list in your own mind psychologically, the bigger your potential. Because again, if you've got 5 people on your database and you've gotten to first 3 and all 3 have said no, you've only got 2 left. You are thinking very, very dismally. And you expand that list, because the bigger the list, the bigger the potential. And it's a psychological thing, but it's true. So add 5 names every day, even if it's just 5 strangers. So if you are on social media of any kind, if you're an outgoing person, you get out of your house in any way, the first 5 people you run into when you're outside your house, find a way to get their contact information and stay in touch with them. Now, don't be awkward or cringy. Hey, can I have your phone number? That's going to be a little awkward. Start a conversation first. Find some kind of mutual ground. And sometimes it takes a little time. In a social situation, it's easier. Like Marci and I occasionally go to a coffee shop and just work from the coffee shop, and we're interacting with people as they're coming in. So do it that way. Do it organically, but don't do it in airports. Wherever you are, there's other people, I guarantee it. So start that way and capture contact information immediately. If there's any kind of rapport, and this is one of the things, dang it, how many times have you ever said, I wish I would have got that person's information, or I wish I would have got their card? Because here's the thing, don't give them your card, get theirs. So because most of the time when you give somebody your business card, it's here, can you throw this away from me? Unless there's some kind of business or some kind of rapport or some kind of mutual trust that's built, then it becomes an invaluable, whatever the dimensions of that business card, it can be your greatest asset or your greatest liability, depending upon how you use it and when. And then include birthdays and notes about the person. When you have the conversation, put it in your database. There's a notes section probably in your smartphone. I know there is in ours, our Apple phones. There's a notes section. The wife's name, the kid's name, where you met them. So when you see them, you'll remember those types of things. And then ideally their birthday. And if you're on social media, this is a thing. On social media, every platform will tell you who your connections are, whether they're friends on Facebook, connections on LinkedIn, or whatever you call TikTok people and Instagram people. They all have birthdays. Whatever the birthday is, think of that day's birthday. And here's a kind of a strategy that kind of works. On the birthday, there's going to be a lot of people sending happy birthday to that people. It gets less and less the first day, the second day, the third day after, because you can easily send a happy belated birthday on the second or third day, and you're probably going to be maybe one of 5.
Or how about this? You also get notified of upcoming birthdays. What if you sent a birthday wish a couple days early?
Yeah.
Right?
Good strategy.
You stand out when it's not
so when you're
in the crowd.
Early is better than late in that situation, because they're thinking about me already. And utilize your tools, because those tools are out there for you.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
And then record of interest. What are their hobbies? The one thing that I'm going to share this publicly, because I haven't talked to Martin. We briefly talked about it, but pickleball. The fastest growing sport on planet Earth right now is pickleball.
And it's all for social interaction.
It's for social interaction, because most of the people that I know that are playing pickleball are in their 70s. They've got bad hips and bad knees, and they're out there anyway, and they're not doing it to make themselves hurt. They're out there because it's a social fun thing, and it's creating this massive, massive community. So we're getting involved. Okay. Just so we've already got the rackets and the balls. Just got to go out and do it. And then stay organized. Again, that's for us. We need to be better organized, and I think everybody else is. If you are an organized person, you are ahead of the game, and you are going to crush this thing. So just constantly add names and build your list before you need it.
And take advantage of every resource you have. I mean, like your products, using them in public, or even, when you're having conversations with people and people are talking about what energy drink, be talking about what you're doing yourself, right? An example of this is we were at a marriage class get together, a dinner. And I don't even know what the topic was, but somehow I started talking about how I love my natural, product that I use that makes it so that I don't drop my energy at the end of drinking it. And I can't remember exactly what I said, but basically on Sunday after church, one of the ladies that was there comes running up to me. She's like, do you have any samples of that natural energy drink that you were talking about? Because I'd really like to try it. It's like, I need something that helps me, that won't drop me. And I'm like, and then make sure you have samples with you, right? And so I was able to pass over samples to her. She's on our list, and now I need to follow up with her, right? It's been a couple days, so she should have had a chance to try both of the flavors that we offered to her. So guys, just be prepared and keep your eyes open for opportunity, because they really are around every single corner.
Absolutely. And then your network is your net worth. That's how we started this thing. So think of it like the roots of a growing tree. where your leadership potential is inherently involved in that database. So are your customers, whether they join the business or not, a lot of them are going to join your customers. That's one of the things about network marketing. It's 80-20. 80% customers, 20% reps, whether you call them distributors, consultants, or whatever you want to call them, and you're building a team. The deeper that root structure goes, the stronger the tree is going to be and the greater growth potential it has. And the legacy that it will create. And when someone tells you no, again, don't ever waste an opportunity to ask for a referral, because it might not be, this sounds great, but I'm good right now, or I'm too distracted in my life, or I had a death in the family, or I just moved, or my parents are sick, whatever the case may be. Ask for a referral and stay in touch. When the person gives you the thing in their life that has changed, whether it's good or bad, it gives you an absolute built-in, baked-in reason to follow up. Check on how they're going. How are you doing? How is things going? Is there anything I can pray for? Just be a good human being. Because that's one of the things that I get emotional when I think about it. The world is lacking so much right now, is decency and good human beings. Everybody's pointing fingers at everyone else. And I remember, I don't know who originally told me this, but every time you're pointing your finger out at someone else, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. And so the thing is, everybody's got something going on. And whatever it is, it's better to do it as a culture, as a community, as a tribe. When you're going through stuff, it's easier to know when you're going through it that someone's praying for you, or someone cares enough to call and check in on you, even if it's just a text. Hey, I was thinking about you. Don't want to bother you. I'm praying for you. Anything else you need? That means so much to people. And that will put you at the top of that person's list because you genuinely care.
Yeah.
And just, the more conversations you have, the more trust is being built in your relationships, the more invitations you extend, the more you're adding to your list, and the more referrals you're going to get from people, even if they say no, and more leaders are going to be developed by duplicating this process. So it's just establishing the deep roots of the tree is going to determine how high that tree can go.
Yeah, a lot of the things, and I would say so much of the things that are going on in the world today have been designed to separate us as humans, right? And that's not what we are supposed to be. We are supposed to be working together, walking this journey called life, really kind of arm in arm and helping each other along. And so by building your database in this way, being that good human, you and those of us that choose to be able to operate this way, we're really kind of part of the solution to the biggest problem that humanity is suffering right now, and that is divisiveness.
Yeah.
So let's bring each other together. Let's care enough to really be aware of what other people are going through, offer solutions when it is appropriate, yet just be that good human that Dondee was just talking about.
Amen. And so here's your mission for the week. Continue to create and expand your database. Don't aim for perfection. Just be diligent every day. Aim for progress. And so by next week, every person should have an organized database that becomes the foundation for the building your LifeVantage business. And add your first 100 names. And just, I would say, use your memory jogger, use your high school yearbooks. It's a great way to reach out to people. Find somebody else like, oh my gosh, I remember when we were in class together, whether it be social studies or whatever, we had a great relationship. I haven't talked to that person, in my case, for 40 years. Find them on Facebook, find them on LinkedIn, find them on social media, do a word search in Google and reestablish those relationships. Because one thing I understand about human beings, they have memory. And if you had a relationship with them then and you haven't seen each other since, that relationship's going to do what? Pick up exactly where it left off. So be that person who's reaching out and highlight your top 25 as far as people that have an immediate need, tremendous influence, are decent human beings. Something has happened in their life recently, some kind of an experience, or people that have influence over other people, or people that you just would love to do life with on a deeper level. Find those top 25 and then contact 5 people every day. New people, whether it's birthdays and you say, hey, hope you're having a fantastic birthday. What can I pray for? And that would be something I would say, whatever you would typically say. It's not hard to find 5 people every day to add to your database unless you're just not trying.
Truth.
Right?
Truth. All right, guys. So that's your challenge for this week. We're super excited to keep moving through the Blueprint series. So please make sure that you're back here with us live again next week. And if you can't be, watch the recording on YouTube, Team Freedom Reigns, and give us a comment of what your greatest takeaway was, because we'd love to be able to have that conversation back and forth, and let us know any questions that you have as well. All right. God bless everybody. Have a great week.
See you, everybody. You got this.
See ya.